Do you know how good a speaker you really are? Fortunately, there's a quick way to find out. I'm going to share with you the 7 signs that tell you if you're a weak speaker. I will also share, of course, how you can overcome these weaknesses fast. This matters because communication is the number 1 skill in business, and I believe that your personal communication skills may actually be the only skills that survive the AI revolution. Yet most leaders are weak and ineffective communicators, often without realizing it. My name is Eyal. I've helped over 11,000 leaders master communications with my Speak Like a CEO method, and this is Speak Like a CEO, the show that helps you become a top 1% communicator. Here's the first sign that you're a weak speaker, and we're counting down from number 7 to the number 1, the most important sign that you're a weak speaker. So number 7 is that you're using a lot of filler words and filler sounds. And that matters because filler sounds, filler words suggest to the audience that maybe you haven't prepared, maybe you're not sure about what you're talking about, or even that you're making stuff up, and none of that is good. Now, how do we overcome this? Before we can fix it, we need to understand why we're doing it. And we're doing it because we need a little time to think, right? So we developed a habit to say or like, or and it's totally understandable. I used to do it a lot. When I started podcasting in 2018, I used an awful lot. It was all over the recording. So I took a decision. I need to figure out how to change this. And actually, it turns out to be pretty simple. You give yourself the license to pause instead of saying or Now, this means it's a little habit shift, but it's totally doable. Anyone can do it. And ideally, record yourself, find out if it is a problem for you, and then just decide that you're no longer going to say but you will pause. The power of the pause is real, and that's your fix. Shift from to pausing. Now, if you replace filler words and filler sounds with pauses, you're going to come across as a much more confident speaker. Okay, here's number 6. You know you're a weak speaker if your idea is unclear. And this is true for most business communication, most presentations. I can see this immediately, and of course, as well. If the idea isn't clear to you, the speaker hasn't done a good job. Now, when you look at the title slide of a presentation, usually it gives a topic, and that's when you already know it's not going to be good because there's no clear message communicated up front. Often the second slide is an agenda slide, and there may be 7, 8, 9 points on it. It's just a list of ideas stitched together like a big Franken idea, but it's not going to be strong as a one idea. The fix is simple. Just ask yourself, what is the one thing I want my audience to take away from this? And you make it clearer until your one big idea is so clear that everyone in the audience gets it right from the start. Okay, here's number 5. You know you're a weak speaker if you don't answer the so what question. That's right. People won't care unless you make them care. You need to tell them why this matters to them. It's probably completely clear to you why this topic you're talking about is super important. You're excited about it, even you're passionate. It doesn't mean the audience is, so you have to make them care. And you do this by telling them, so what? Why does this matter to you now? This is actually a relatively easy fix to compare to some of the other signs of weak speaking. All you have to do is include a sentence at the beginning that says, this is important now because, or let me get to the part you really care about. Why does this matter to you, right? You can be very explicit about why it matters because that's what tells the audience, I need to pay attention to this next sentence. There's important information there. Don't keep it for you. Don't wait too long when you've already lost the audience's attention because they don't know why it matters to them. So make them care and start there. All right, here's number 4, and this may surprise you. You know you're a weak speaker if people don't take notes. If they're not taking notes, if they're not taking screenshots, if they're not begging you for the slides after the meeting, you're not quite there yet. And of course, in order to get to that level of speaking, you need to get and keep people's attention. Now, at the beginning, getting attention is relatively easy. Just start with a killer opening, right? People look at you anyway when you start talking. So don't lose the audience in the first few sentences by saying things like, hello, it's great to be here. My name is... Don't do that. You're losing the audience quickly. Instead, you start with a killer opening, and then, this is the hard part, you need to re-engage the audience every 2 minutes. That's the rule of thumb in any communication. Like 20-minute presentation, every 2 minutes, re-engage the audience. Why is that? Because we know from studies that the brain drifts after 1.5 to 2 minutes. It's hard for our brains to focus on anything for an extended period of time, so you want to make it very easy and re-engage the audience. Now, How do you do this? There's actually a whole toolkit that you can apply. Humor is great. You can ask the audience, hey, quick show of hands, who had this experience, right? You can use memes, you can use funny pictures, anything visual. You can use a prop. And here's my favorite, ask an unanswered question. It's so easy to do, and it will re-engage the audience because the brain can't help but trying to answer the question you just posed. So just say things like, how is it possible that this happened? Or how do we explain this data, right? Very easy to do, very quick to do. And what I suggest is once you've created a presentation or talk, go through it and make sure you re-engage the audience every 2 minutes. All right, number 3, you know you're a weak speaker if you don't speak in quotes. What? Why? Well, 90% of what we hear, we forget by tomorrow. And that is if someone is a really good speaker. For most speakers, that number will be way higher. And for bad speakers, that number will be 100%. We won't remember anything and probably never remembered anything because we don't pay attention to boring things. Now, what does that mean for you? You use your key message, your big idea, and you turn it into a quote that is sticky AF. So people remember your big idea. That's all you can hope for. People will not remember all the words you said. They can remember your big idea if you package it right. And we need to have some really, really good packaging. Now, how do you turn your message, your idea into a sticky quote? Now, 3 steps here. First step is compression. You need to make it short to be memorable. Think 10 years of experience in 10 words. Step number 2 is contrast. The brain is really good at understanding opposites. So if you can make it, it's not this, not that, not in a clumsy ChatGPT kind of way, that really helps. And 3, it's cadence. Does it sound good? Does it have rhyme, rhythm, melody, alliteration? Does it have balance? All that good stuff. Now, you don't need a checklist. You just need to speak it out loud and you will know if the cadence is right. Now, here are a few examples. Be a spokesperson, not an answer person. Right? It has all the 3 elements. Or it's not 10,000 hours, it's 10,000 iterations. That's by Naval Ravikant. Don't read the room, lead the room. You can see what I'm doing. It's short, there's contrast, and there's cadence, and these are very easy to remember. All right, this brings me to number 2, and this is really bad, and unfortunately it's very common. You know if you're a bad speaker, if you don't practice your delivery. So when you think about a talk, think about a presentation, you should really allocate 50% of your prep time on what you want to say and at least 50% on how you will say it. Because the how you say it, how to deliver it, that will determine if people actually pay attention and remember what you said. If you don't nail that part, nothing you did before matters because people won't pay attention to you, right? It is harsh, but it is true. All right, so what's the fix here? It's simple. You allocate 50% to what you say and how you say it, and then you record yourself as part of your preparation. You record yourself, you review it, and then you refine it. And then you do it all over again until you're happy with the result. And you can just use your phone to record yourself. Quick, phone on tripod moment, or just use a friend or colleague and give each other feedback. It's very easy to do. Now, is it hard on the ego? Yes. And that's why most people don't do it. But think about it. Do you want to know about the mistakes you're making? Do you want to know how you come across to your audience? Or do you rather protect your fragile ego? Now, my choice is clear. I think being too sensitive in a leadership position is just not a good look. You have to face the camera. And once people do, they desensitize it. So it's really just the first couple of times you do it where you think, oh, this is what I look, this is what I sound. We all go through it. But believe me, it's so worth it because if 99% of people don't do it and you're among the 1% who do it, you will stand out as a leader and communicator. All right, and here's number 1. You really, really know you're a bad speaker if you fact tell instead of story tell. Look, why is that so important? Because stories are how we make sense of the world, how we understand the world, how we remember stuff. A 2-year-old understands a story, but it takes like 20 years of education and training to become an accountant. It just shows you that logic is really, really hard for the brain, but story comes very easily. And you can package any message in a story and it will become so much more memorable and powerful. And the good news is, it's super simple to do. You apply a tried and tested storytelling framework. And I collected these for you. You can find the link down there. You can download it for free. It's called 21 Storytelling Frameworks. Apply these. You can keep these forever. they will not change because they work with the brain. They don't fight the brain. Fact-telling fights the brain. You can't remember a lot of facts. We all know this, maybe 5, 6, 7 if you're really smart. But storytelling, you can remember stories you had years and years ago. So work with biology, not against biology. 21 storytelling frameworks, download it now. Where do you start? You pick a framework, something like excite, disturb, assure. Usually 3 acts work really well, and you just work through it. You use them as prompts for your talk or presentation. So you start with excite. What's a vision? What's the big goal people are longing for? You get them excited, right? And this is, by the way, a lot of movies and novels work as well. Second, what is disturbing? What are the big challenges on the way to your goal? Again, very, very intuitive because this is how humans think. And finally, the assurance. Now, this is where logic kicks in. Say, it will be all right because I have a plan and let me share my plan. So you don't start with logic. You start with a story and then you inject the logic, the plan a little later. So the sequence matters a great deal when it comes to leadership communications. Now, let's be honest. Out of these 7, how many apply to you? Sometimes or always, and will then tell you what you can do next to fix that. So do you often use filler words and filler sounds? Do you find that your idea isn't clear enough? Do you miss to answer the so what question? Do you find that people don't take notes? Or you don't speak in quotes, you don't prepare the delivery of your talk regularly, and you don't storytell, you fact tell? All right, let's look at your results. If 0 or 1 or 2 of these apply to you, great. You're a great speaker already. Keep up the good work. If it's 3, 4, 5, I'd say you're on the right path. All of this is learnable. Choose the storytelling frameworks, download it now, and make sure that you use one of those for your next presentation or talk. If 6 or 7 apply, I'd say, hey, there's quite a lot of work ahead of you, but this is a learnable skill. Just pick one off the list and tackle that, then move on to the next. And this applies to all of us, right? Communication is a learnable skill, and it's my job on this channel to help you become a top 1% communicator. So don't forget to follow the channel, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. If you like this episode, please subscribe to the Speak Like a CEO channel. It means the world to me, and it helps us keep bringing you world-class insights and guests.